Good morning, everyone. In the last class, we have discussed about the protein, amino acids, their structures, and their types. Today, we are going to discuss about the vitamins. What are the vitamins? Vitamins are those of the nutritional materials which are needed in very small amount, but they are very important for the living beings. When we talk about the vitamins, then how many type of the vitamins are? Then vitamins are classified into two classes, that is the water soluble and the fat soluble vitamins. That means those of the vitamins which can be dissolved in the water, they are called the water soluble vitamins, and those which can be dissolved in the fat, that is called the fat soluble vitamins. When you will take the water soluble vitamin, there's vitamin C and vitamin B. These are the two vitamins which are the water soluble. But in the vitamin B, the B12 is not the water soluble, that is the fat soluble. All the remaining vitamins are fat soluble, that is the vitamin A, B12, D, E, and K. So these are the fat soluble vitamins, and B and C are the water soluble vitamins. The question comes that why we need to take the vitamin C regularly in our diet. जैसा हम पहले बता चुके हैं कि विटामिन सी इज अ वाटर सॉल्युबल विटामिन, सो व्हेन you will take the vitamin C, that must be released through the urine because that is a water soluble vitamin, and as a result the deficiency of the vitamin C will take place. So as a supplement we need to vitamin C regularly in our diet to avoid the gum diseases. The vitamin C is mainly responsible for the gum diseases, and that is generally found in the citrus fruits like lemon, orange, etc. Other vitamins, vitamin A, you know the source, that is the carrot, and the disease which is called, that is the night blindness like diseases. In the deficiency of vitamin A, the the cornea becomes hard, and this is the problem. In the daytime, the excess of light does not forms the clear image, and the night blindness type of condition appears because the sufficient amount of light does not reach to our eyes. Similarly, other vitamins are here and their deficiency disease. I think you have already studied in the lower classes, so we are not discussing it again. Now we are going to discuss about the nucleic acid. What are the nucleic acid and how many type of the nucleic acid? We have already discussed in the biology that there are two different type of the nucleic acid, that is called the deoxyribose nucleic acid and ribose nucleic acid. What are their function? They are used for the protein synthesis. They are the hereditary materials, that means they contain the property of the living being, and they carry it from one generation to another generation. That means whatever the property we get from our parents, our mother and father, that property comes to us in the form of DNA. DNA is the carrier for those of the properties. So we are going to discuss about these of the nucleic acids. So when we talk about the nucleic acid is combination of the three different species, that is the sugar, base, and phosphate. So these are the two sugars. The first one is called the deoxyribose sugar, and second one is called the ribose sugar. The major difference here you can see. In the first one, the lack of oxygen is suggesting that it is the deoxyribose sugar. So the DNA contains three species I said, that is the sugar, ribose or deoxyribose. The RBC contains the ribose sugar, RNA contains the ribose sugar, and the DNA contains the deoxyribose sugar. Now when these of the ribose sugar contains any of the base, the base may be adenosine, thymine, cytosine, or guanine. They are called the purine and pyrimidine base. The RNA contains the uracil instead of thymine, and DNA contains thymine instead of uracil. There are four bases available in these of the cases. So these of the composition, that is the sugar plus base, is called nucleoside. And when these are the nucleoside contains the phosphate P double bond O, then these composition, that is the sugar base and phosphate composition, is called nucleotide. So these are the nucleoside. Sugar plus base is called the nucleoside, and sugar base plus phosphate is called the nucleotide. And these are the nucleotides combine with each other from position number 3 to 5 with the help of the phosphodiester linkage, forming a long chain that is called the polynucleotide, and that is called the strand of the nucleic acid. In the case of DNA, there is a double stranded strand. In the case of RNA, there is a single stranded system. So DNA have two strands. But question asks that whether both the strands are identical. Surely both the strands are not identical, but they are complementary to each other. So the two strands of DNA are not identical but complementary to each other. Then what is the basic difference in between these two strands? If you will see the sequence, if the first strand in the sequence of the 3 to 5, that means the strand is starting from 3, carbon number 3 to carbon number 5, the next must start from carbon number 5 reaching to the carbon number 3. In this way, if this is the first strand and starting from 3 end to the 5 end, the next will be the strand which is starting from 5 end to the 3 end. So both the strands have the opposite sequence. And when you will see the base, what are the bases are there? They are containing the complementary bases. What are the complementary bases? If the first one is containing adenosine, the next one must contain thymine. And if this one is containing thymine, adenosine, guanine, cytosine, and cytosine, guanine. So they have the complementary bases. When you will see that which of the forces are responsible to hold the strands of DNA, it is the hydrogen bonding. And there are 2 hydrogen bonds in between adenine and thymine, and 3 hydrogen bonds in between guanine and cytosine. So 283 Cg. In this way you can learn. So in this way both the strands of DNA are not identical. They are complementary with each other. They are complementing to each other. Now what is the function of the DNA? We already discussed that DNA is the carrier of the hereditary characters from one generation to the another generation. The next one, that is the RNA. What is the function of RNA? RNA is generally used for the protein synthesis. But we have seen in some of the primitive plants like blue-green alga, we can see that the RNA is working as a hereditary material and DNA is working as a protein synthesis. That means they can do all the works, because these are the animals, these are the plants, that is the primitive plants, are containing either RNA or DNA. So in this way you can see that they are working as a hereditary material as well as the protein synthesis material. But in general you can say that the DNA is used for the carrier of the hereditary character from one generation to another generation, and RNA is used for the synthesis of the protein. Now how many type of the RNA are there? There are 3 type of RNA, that is the transportal RNA, ribosomal RNA, and last one, that is called the messenger RNA. And these of the 3 RNA combine with each other with their function and prepare the protein. It's all for today. We will discuss the next topic in the next video. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day.